Did you guys know that Makoto Niijima from Persona 5 is trained in Aikido so she could probably kick your butt, which might actually be kind of hot. Welcome everyone to Weeaboo Wednesday. Weeaboo Wednesday is my weekly anime, Japan, geeky-centric sort of news program that I put together by stealing news from other websites. I compile things and I give it a little bit of my own flavor here, and hopefully it's something you enjoy. So if you do enjoy it, make sure to show that by liking the video and commenting about the stories, because that does show that this is appreciated, because it can be a bit of work to get this all done in one night. And I introduce things with a Makoto fact because it's still Makoto May. I just wanted to commit to this, but similarly theme it about Makoto when it started. Whatever, let's get into the stories. And we're keeping this one shorter. Did I already say that? We gotta improvise this. I've done this intro like 6 times because I keep recording it and screwing something up, but I wanted to do that standing, but now that we're doing Weeaboo Wednesday sat, it's a little different to try to do physical comedy. If you're not familiar with that intro, that is Houshou Marin's, well, that's her intro. Whenever she starts up a stream, she's Ahoy, Horodaibu-san kise, Houshou Kaizoku-dan Senchou no Houshou Marin desu. And she's super cute. And she has a new music video, which I can't show here, so I'm just gonna show the part that shows her butt because it was oh so nice. It's a great little music video, and it's our favorite pirate gal, and it's just nice to see. It's really well animated. It even had Roshia in it, which was very surprising to see, but I'm assuming this was made well before all of the controversy with her. Though, it does have Usada Pekora, and you know we love her. Let's get the VTubers out early so that we can focus on other stuff. I say focus. Daddy's got the juice. Focus on that. It is choosing to not focus. There it goes, it focused, baby. Look at that booty cheek. You know Studio Wit? They worked on Attack on Titan, they're working on Spy X Family currently, and they also worked on Ranking of Kings. All great series, they all look wonderful, and they're going to be working on this new Pokemon series. If you don't recall, I talked about this before, they are making a Pokemon anime. It's only going to be 3 episodes long, so not very long, and it's going to take place in the Hisuin region from Pokemon's Legends Arceus. That's really awesome because it's going to be in that time setting as well, which is going to be really cool. It's called Pokemon Hisuian Snow. It's going to be a short anime that they are going to be airing on the Pokemon YouTube channel. This will start up May 18th, and it stars a character named Alec, and it features his father as well, and the Pokemon Zorua. There's really not much else about it, but I guess it'll be dope. I mean, it's going to look wonderful with the people that worked on Attack on Titan making it. They're going to be able to do some awesome stuff with the landscapes and everything, unless they don't have the same people doing background art, because that is a totally different studio sometimes. Still, this is exciting to see. I want that setting as fleshed out as possible. I think that's going to be such a fun thing to explore further. Now then, Shin-chan, 30 years worth of movies. The series started as a manga back in 1990. The anime started in 1992, and they started making movies in 1993. So, with their 30th movie just having released, they are celebrating with a 30th anniversary of their film career, I suppose. The main deck of Tokyo Tower will feature a whole exhibit that is just going to show off Shin-chan stuff. From April 28th to May 8th, which I would assume is actually going to be over pretty soon, it's promoting the Ninja Chinpuden, the new movie that they just recently came out with, which did pretty well in the box office. And they're going to also have like screens around that are going to be showing some of the older movies as well. And I blank you not, they will be featuring Hiroshi, Hiroshi Nohara, Shin-chan's father. They're showing his socks inside of like a little cube because that's a thing. I talked about this when they did the Nivea ad. His dad has stinky feet, his socks are similarly stinky. They're going to be an item worth putting in an exhibit. There's also going to be like art panels everywhere, which should be pretty cute. And all of it inside of Tokyo Tower. That's pretty cool. There's also going to be a mini exhibition in the basement of Tokyo Tower. The basement? There's a basement? Supposedly it's called Foot Town. I don't know if that's a joke on Hiroshi's father's feet or whatever, but anyway, it's going to be the Shinosuke Festival, which is featuring like a lot of the OPs and endings of the series and a lot of the music, of course, that came along with it, and they're going to sell merch there as well. So that seems like it'll be really cute. I love Shin-chan, and I wish I could go, because I've actually, funny enough, been to Japan twice, never been to Tokyo Tower. Okay, so this one's really weird, but it's very interesting. The Japanese government present an award, and it's called the Medal with Purple Ribbon, which is a really weird name. Anyway, it's evidently given to individuals who have contributed to academic and artistic developments, improvements, and accomplishments, which is a very vague way of saying, like, you did something good. Now, they're giving this for this spring of 2022 to Hideaki Anno, as well as one of the members of AKB48, which is really weird. Either way, if you're not familiar, Hideaki Anno is a wonderful creator who was one of the 7 founders of Gainax, who went on to create Evangelion. Then he co-directed and wrote Shin Godzilla. He's worked on other anime too, but he's been recently big into making movies. Of course, the Eva movies came out as well, and he founded Studio Kara. This guy has made a lot. And honestly, his impact in the anime world is massive. Eva is still referenced in anime today. It's very, like, is that a fourth wall technically? I don't know. Still, he received this award, and I guess that's pretty cool. It's a really neat looking little presentation that they give you, but yeah, congratulations, Anno. Now, speaking of Wit Studio, which we mentioned with the Pokemon series, it is their 10th anniversary. And like I said, they're the people that have worked on Attack on Titan, Spy X Family, and Ranking of Kings. Now, in Ikebukuro, they will be holding an exhibition in Parco, the department store, and it's going to be from May 27th until June 20th. It's called Aim Higher, and evidently this may have something to do with the fact that they are trying to further grow and develop more as a studio, because one of the things on the website actually mentions overseas expansion, but you can't click anything on the website. There's really not much information there about what's going to be on sale, what the exhibition's really going to be. It's a lot of flowery language to not really say anything, but yeah, I guess the tickets go on sale May 6th. We'll see what happens. I mean, I can only hope that Wit Studio will make more anime because the stuff that they've worked on has all been bangers. Earth Defense Force 6 is coming out in Japan. August 25th is going to be the new release date. It was delayed from the end of last year until, I guess, this summer. The game takes place 3 years after Earth Defense Force 5, and yeah, it's going to be coming out for PS4 and PS5. And this one actually looks really good. Now, that's not to say that the other ones don't. They're all fun games, but they don't ever look amazing. They're very arcadey and hokey and kind of silly, but that's what's wonderful about them. You just fight like waves worth of like massive insects and stuff like that, but this one's like very different looking in the way that there's like all these dragons and aliens and stuff. It looks crazy. I don't know if you did that in the other ones. I just remember bugs, but still, I'm probably gonna buy this because these games are fun. I've played, 4 or 5? And it was a hell of a lot of fun, so that's exciting. But right now, we just have the Japanese release date, no American yet, but we can only hope. Okay, now we're winding down because these are the last few stories. Yuji Naka. You may not know of him, but if you do, you'll know that he's worked on the Sonic games. Back on the original Genesis, he worked on the Sonic games as the lead programmer. He's a pretty big deal. He was additionally the head of Sonic Team. And he's also worked on other video games like Nights into Dreams as well as Phantasy Star Online. So this guy has a storied video game career. This man is a veteran of the industry. He worked at Sega for 22 years. He started working for Square Enix. And in his time there, he worked on a little game called Balan Wonderworld. Whew. If you don't know about Balan Wonderworld, it is awful. It was a game that came out and just became the laughingstock of the gaming community. Just from like nonsensical, basically like underdeveloped plot that was really vaguely kind of presented to the viewer. This original trailer that made you interested because it had cool design aspects and the idea of like all these abilities from putting on different hats and stuff. But the game came out and it was just a mess. It was boring. The hats all played very similarly. There were lots of glitches. I remember when I saw the cinematic trailer, I thought it looked pretty cool. But evidently there was a problem there too, because Yuji Naka has left Square Enix thanks to this whole game and the situation that came around it. He didn't say anything at the time because I guess he couldn't because there was a court case. He lawyered up, and he did so for good reason. Supposedly. We don't know all the details, but on Twitter, he's basically come out to say that he was working on the game and he had a little bit of a problem with the studio developing it. Square Enix removed him as the director of the game 6 months before it came out. Now, he and Arzest Games, I think that's how you say their name, had a strained relationship, as he's described it. So there was evidently a dispute over the soundtrack, which boiled down to him thinking that they should use an original song rather than an arranged version of a song that they put into the promotional material. Everybody there started to come after him. So much so to the point where he couldn't help direct the game. He couldn't do his job effectively because he had like everyone against him. The producer, the managing director, the head of marketing, the head of sound, and even human resources evidently were all just not cool with him. So he hired a lawyer so that he could communicate to them essentially. Like, he was like, how do I work with this team with the way things are? But instead, they were just like, no, we're blocking you out from pretty much everything. Square Enix disallowed him to help work on the game, and then they shipped it. After they took him off of the game, they put him off of it for 6 months. They released the game without ironing out bugs that he was mentioning to them, and evidently it was just unfinished. So who knows what it could have been. Now, Yuji Naka did apologize to the fans, and he closed out his Twitter post saying that Square Enix and Arzest Games do not care about gamers or the video games that they're creating, which is pretty strong words to be said about a huge company like Square Enix. Though, I will say, with what I've seen, that game does kind of show a blatant disregard for whether or not somebody would be enjoying playing it. Okay, and our final story is actually sort of a follow-up from a previous one. If you can recall, recently I talked about the passing of Fujiko Fujio, who was one of the co-creators of Doraemon. Now, he passed away, and of course this was a big deal. The anime world was pretty, upset about it because this was a big deal. Now, it would seem that in the wake of this, though, somehow there was a presumably lost anime pilot recovered. He had worked on an anime pilot, which was an adaptation of a manga of the same title, Futa-Kun. And the jokes write themselves there. I'm not going to play with that one at all. I don't play with futas. Now, evidently, the company that worked on this is long gone, but the parent company remains. They're called Kokue, and they are trying to work together with a film company to essentially remaster and digitize this reel of film. They found a reel of film in a warehouse, and they've uncovered history in this pilot. It was 2 episodes. Well, I'm not sure if it was 2, but it was 2 15-minute segments that were created to be aired on TV that were only aired once. It was supposed to air in 1967, but it didn't actually air until 1972, December 11th, from 4:30 to 4:45, very specifically. But this was the only time it was ever aired. Some people didn't even think it actually did, but it did apparently go out on Hiroshima TV. The manga ran from 1964 to 1967, so it was long done before a lot of this actually happened. 1967 was when they were supposed to air the pilot, and then they didn't do it until 72. This is crazy, though. The series was about a guy named Futa-Kun who was going around doing part-time jobs, or baito, to try to save up 1 million yen, which is like $3,000. Now, back in 1967, though, adjusted for inflation, that would have been the equivalent of about 3.8 million yen today, which would have been like $30,000. Still, I think this is really interesting. It's a shame that this had to happen after he passed away. Who knows, maybe he didn't want it to go back out. I don't really know. Still, it is exciting to know that anime history was found in this pilot being unearthed. So who knows, maybe we'll get to see it someday soon. But that's going to be everything, guys. What did you think of this week's stories? I thought they were actually pretty cool. I liked going in a little bit deeper on some of these and having some fun actually really explaining this to you, because some of the stuff is definitely worth checking out. Make sure to like the video, make sure to comment below, talk about the news, and subscribe if you haven't yet. We have a Discord as well that you can join, which is always fun to be in. You also have my Hobby Link Japan link, which if you buy figures with, I get a little bit of extra bonus money, and you don't spend any extra, so we all win. It's Makoto May, so make sure that you're also celebrating Makoto Niijima because she is our queen. I'm going to put a video right here on screen. But with that said, thank you so much for watching, have an amazing day, and I will see you very soon in a new video. What else can I do as an outro?
コンペコハロライブ作戦のうさだペコラペコどうもどうもどうも
That's my Usada Pecora. If you don't like it, get out of my face.